Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Russian Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered. Let's get straight into it. Lewis Hamilton wins after VSC plays a massive part in the race. Vettel retires and it basically helped Mercedes. It's kind of karma for them team orders. But let's get into driver ratings. George Russell 5. Having a great race. Retires due to a brake issue. He hit the wall under the virtual safety car. Full safety car comes out. Russell retires. He was having a good race. He was ahead of a few other cars again. Kubica, I give him 5. Retired due to safety grounds. Russell goes off, hits the wall. I'm guessing they just retired Kubica on safety grounds. Gasly 2. Yeah, he really struggled. He was excellent in Singapore, but took a penalty, 5-place penalty, and he really struggled in the race, finishing 14th. So he was world class in Singapore. Toro Rosso not so good this weekend. Danny Kvyat 1, and he's lucky to get 1. Disaster of a home race. Stopped twice in practice, picked up a penalty coming into the weekend. He missed qualifying. Starts last, finishes 12th. It was just a disaster from start to finish. Albon 6. Really struggled to keep up with Max in the pace. He crashed in qualifying, and that's why I've marked him down. He was phenomenal in the race. I would have given him 0 if he didn't have a good race, but because his race was so good, I've boosted him to 6. People might think that's a bit harsh, but he did crash the car and he was nowhere. He had a penalty, but in the race he was phenomenal. From the pit lane to P5. Max 7. A very quiet weekend for Max. He had a penalty. Every Honda guy had a penalty. 5 places. Got the job done. P4. Qualified P4, dropped to 9th, finished P4. It was a very quiet weekend for Max. Unusual, but he did his job, but just very quiet. Sebastian Vettel 7. Now Vettel leading the race, world class start. Slipstream Charles Leclerc, got into the lead, was pulling away from Charles Leclerc. Then Ferrari, they had this plan set up. Did Vettel ignore team orders? We've seen him do it against Mark Webber, Multi-21. And then they just keep him out. They let Leclerc get back ahead. Vettel comes out 1 lap after the pits. He comes round into the last sector. He loses his kinetic, his K, and he retires. And he was brilliant. He would have won the race in my opinion. I fully believe Vettel would have overtaken Leclerc. He was the fastest Ferrari driver. So yeah, I give Vettel a 7. Wasn't his fault, his car let him down. Leclerc 10. Pole, his 4th pole in a row. Driving at his peak, his power, he's just on fire. I mean, 4 poles in a row. Spa, Italy, Singapore and Russia. Played the team game. He gave Sebastian Vettel the tow at the start. Gets on the podium. Vettel's retirement costs Ferrari the win. Kimi Raikkonen 2 out of 10. Giovinazzi and Kimi, I'm going to give 2 together. Alpha really struggled big time. Giovinazzi qualifies 13th, race 15th. Kimi qualified 16th, race 13th. Kimi also got a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Kimi Raikkonen, I cannot remember him struggling so much. Italy was tough, Singapore was tough, Russia was tough. Luckily for Raikkonen, he goes to one of his favourite tracks next, in Suzuka, Japan. Let's hope we can see the Kimi we all want to see. Grosjean 5. Very good qualifying, qualifies P9, goes up to P8 with Max's penalty, and he gets taken out in the race, so that's not his fault. 3 into 1, Ricciardo's on the inside, Giovinazzi's in the middle, Grosjean's on the outside. 3 into 1 doesn't go, Grosjean's out the race. Wasn't his fault, so I give him 5. Kevin Magnussen 8. Tough qualifying, but he's a Russian specialist. He comes back, brilliant race, good points. He did finish 8th, but with that stupid penalty he got, he ends up 9th. Now, I'm going through the penalty once again. Perez, he's meant to go round the bollard. He goes straight on, Perez gets the position. To give him a 5-second penalty is ridiculous, it's ludicrous. If he just slowed down, like jumped on the brakes to go back round that bollard, it would have been very dangerous. The speed he was doing, he could have never slowed it down, gone round the bollard, so he went through the other bollard. He's lost the position to Perez, he's never gained an advantage. It's actually dumb. He lost the position, so that should have been that. It's a ridiculous penalty. I understand why Kevin Magnussen's pissed off. It's absolutely horseshit to give him a penalty for that. He lost the position, so what's he gained? What has he gained? Anyone tell me that. What has he gained? He lost the position, he hasn't gained anything, he's gone from 7th to 8th. To give him, and then more punishment after that, not only has he had to lose time going through the bollard, and he's got shit on his tyres for the rest of the lap by going offline, he also loses a position to Norris at the end of the race with the penalty. Ricciardo, 5. P10 in qualifying, again 3 into 1 didn't go. He tried to stay out but big damage, he retires. Tough weekend, well, P10 in quali, 3 into 1 doesn't go. So yeah, he retires, standard 5. Hulkenberg, 8. Beat Ricciardo all weekend, P7 in qualifying, although he went to P6 with Max's penalty. P10 in the race, a very slow stop by Nico Hulkenberg, and it's still scandalous that this guy doesn't have a seat confirmed for next year. Where did we get to? Lando Norris, 8 out of 10. P8 all weekend, and he benefited because Magnussen's penalty. Carlos Sainz, 10 out of 10. Best of the rest all weekend, performing sensational. Arguably the driver, well, he's definitely the driver of the midfield. Driver of the season could be. P6, qualifying, went up to P5 with Max's penalty, finished P6. He's in the form of his life as well. Sergio Perez, 8 out of 10. P7 in a race, superb, good solid record at Russia. That's good points for Perez. Stroll, 5. Just missed out on the points, standard 5 by Lance Stroll. Just really standard 5. Qualified 15th, would have gone up to 14th with Gasly's penalty. And he finished 11th, just missed out on the points. Was quite close to Hulkenberg at the end. And is that it? No, we've got the Mercedes. Hamilton, 10 out of 10. It's got to be 10. He ends Ferrari's win streak. He wins the race, fastest lap. Different strategy, kind of paid off. Got lucky with a virtual safety car. Championship leader. Championship winner, because he's not blowing a 73-point gap. And he qualified P2, won the race, went on the medium, stayed out, got lucky with a virtual safety car, free pit stop. Hamilton wins, and he's going to be the champion. Valtteri Bottas. Now I've got scribbles all through. I was a bit, what do I give Bottas? I've got 9, 8, 7. I don't think it was, I'm going to give him 8. I don't think it was a great weekend for Bottas personally. He's actually really good at Russia, never been out-qualified by a teammate. Well, he got out-qualified. He qualified 5th, started 4th though, with Max's penalty, and then in the race got lucky for P2, held off Charles Leclerc, benefited from the virtual safety car. Qualifying reaction done, race reaction, driver ratings for the Russian Grand Prix. That is the Russian Grand Prix done. We go on to Suzuka, Japan, going through the S's, then Degner 1, Degner 2, into Spoon, and up the hill for the 130R, flat out. Huge nuts needed. Kimi Räikkönen's a specialist round Suzuka. Yeah, that's it. We're done. And leave your comments down below, we'll always reply. That is driver ratings for the Russian Grand Prix done. Adios.